So this comes with Windows 10 Home. What the, come on, let's get rid of that Windows Home. Let's get some Windows Pro. Copy and paste my code from the description. You can also get Office 2019. Just paste my code. Woof, it's Windows Pro time. Righto, tellio there champs. Now let's see how good this XPS 13 2-in-1 10th generation Ice Lake baby. Let's see how good it is for content creation, and as you can see up there we have the DPC latency monitor. And I will tell you that I've had no issues recording into this. You can see it comes up red every now and then. Don't know what that is, but yeah, you know, welcome to the Windows world. Some are good, some are bad. It's not going into the red consistently, and it is yellow. So for DPC latency, we'll just keep an eye on it through this sort of, you know, talk through of how good it actually is there. You can see actually when I moved it, when I grabbed and clicked, it just went red, didn't it? So anyway, let's see how good it is for content creation. You're going to see how good it performs with Photoshop and all that sort of stuff, Lightroom, and of course, playback. We want to see how good it plays back. Now this is a 4K content, 4K project, should I say, and you'll see here now I'll play it back, no problems whatsoever. Playing it back at full, you can see it's nice and green here. You have full up here, so I can play back the content at full. So you'll be able to cut 4K content, no problems. Now, if I apply the color correction, that's where it won't be able to do it. So it's actually quite amazing that it actually can play back 4K content. You can see there with the color correction, you can't play it at full. It is yellow. So maybe let's drop it to half. Oh, by the way, I'm on battery now. Naughty, naughty me. I should not be on battery. I should be. And you can see there the power scheme there. It's not on full best performance either. Whatever, we'll just go with it. We'll see what we need to do if playing back at half with the color correction. We'll do it. Let's play it. Oh, there you go. With the color correction, we can play it at half. So you'll have no problems chopping up and editing 4K content. I will put that back to 4. Just have a quick look at scrubbing. Forget about multiple streams because it doesn't have enough memory. So that's the problem, right? You know, it's using Intel HD and you can see there it scrolls very smoothly. Multiple streams, you're going to struggle just because, you know, the rule of thumb is how much K your footage is. So if you have 4K footage, you need 4 gigabytes of video memory. Well, this doesn't have 4 gigabytes of video memory, so you know you're going to struggle with multiple streams. So there you can do it. You can cut it up. I'll show you the render times in a minute. The most important thing is you can edit 4K content. Of course, you know this is H.264. It's out of a Panasonic GH4 at the time that camera was. So we are in Lightroom now, and remember we are on battery. So you know expect better performance if it's plugged in. Oh, actually, let's just zoom into one and just go through these. Cycles through instantly. As soon as I press the button, no problems. We'll just see how it punches in, if it punches in quick. So let's boom, boom. Oops. Boom. Shake, shake the room. That's straight away, okay? So every time I press, it just zooms in straight away. So you can probably hear the click. Boom, click, click in. That was wrong. I've done it wrong there. Click in, click out. These are NEF files, so they are sort of raw files. Straight in, straight out. That seemed to be perfectly fine. Straight in, straight out again. Yeah, it's perfectly fine, the performance there. Let's go to develop and find a better photo than this. All right, so we're in here. Let's use the clarity slider, and that is instant. As soon as I slide it, it is working. That's really hard on the system, the clarity. Let's add a brush and let's paint in some blacks. Hey, we don't want 100% black. We don't want to overexpose. We'll just paint in some blacks, make things darker, and that's instant, pretty much instant. As soon as I'm scrolling over, it's instant. The trackpad, you got to make sure you're on the right part of the trackpad. So what I mean by that is if you want to left click, make sure you're on the left side of the trackpad. Otherwise you'll right click. So that's one thing. That's instant. I will go to the clarity here. I'll add another brush. All right, we'll add another brush and we'll go to the clarity and we'll turn that clarity right up. And this is really hard on the system. And yeah, look at that, straight away, instant. So good performance in Lightroom, no problems. If we have a look here at its exporting speeds from Lightroom, we have Lightroom, and look at that here, right here, 1 minute 49 seconds, the same as a MacBook Pro i9, faster than the XPS 15 7590 i7. Now, I will say they may have done an update to Lightroom. I'm going to have to check on that. Nevertheless, it doesn't matter. This quad-core thing, it has a new architecture, so it's called Sunny Cove or Sunkissed or whatever the hell it's called. It's a new architecture, and you get better IPC. So even though it is a quad core, you might think, well, how's it beating a 6-core? And this is basically a CPU test to export from Lightroom from RAWs to JPEGs. How is it so fast? Well, I have no idea if they've updated it, but minute 49, I don't know what to say. Beat the XPS 15, and it's a match for the MacBook Pro there, the 6-core i9. So super performance there. Before I get into the render speeds, I will say overall, I could use this to video edit, no problems. With my content, my workflow, I could use this as a mobile solution. Yeah, I would probably like more power for my day in, day out, but I could easily get the job done on this, no problems whatsoever. So I won't go through those eGPU scores. I will do an eGPU specific video for this, but let's go to the color gamut. 16 by 10 display, so it's awesome. All right, it is super bright. It's 550 nits, so that's awesome. Or 543, close enough. The color gamut here is 99% or basically 100% sRGB. Now it's only 76 of Adobe RGB and it's 81 of DCI-P3, which is quite good, 81 of DCI-P3. If you want the best display, get the 4K one. That's going to have a better color gamut than this. But if you're just doing, stuff that's output into the web, you've got no problems. It's very color accurate. It's an awesome display, touch display, 16 by 10. I love it. And this one here is the Quad HD, I believe it is. It's not the full HD. It's the one in between the 4K and the full HD. It's the one in the middle here. This one's a good balance in between the two. The 4K is going to be worse on battery life, but it does have the color gamut. But this one's a good compromise in between full HD and 4K. Now this is the Photoshop benchmark, and look at that, 666, the number of the beast. And this thing is a beast. Amazing, because you got to remember, the XPS 15, MacBook Pro, or any sort of laptop with a 9750H processor, so 6-core, 45-watt gaming laptop, whatever, Aero, Razer, they get about 750 odd, something like that with the 6-core. So this is, 100 less, but it's a quad core. That's amazing. And I will say, if you do this on an MX150 in a 10th generation, for example, that ZenBook I've just tested out, it has a 10th generation Comet Lake CPU, so it's not an Ice Lake CPU. It doesn't have the good graphics that this one has, but it did have an MX150, which is discrete graphics, and it was much less score than this. It was like 500 or something like that. You'll see when I review it. Yeah, no problems with Photoshop whatsoever. It's going to be a beast for that sort of thing. One thing important to know here is get the RAM and SSD you need, because you cannot upgrade anything at all in this. I can understand such a thin and light package. That's just how it is, and that's why I can't fit a full-size SD card slot as well, because it's so thin and light. Got to remember, this isn't the XPS 13, this is the 2-in-1. This used to have a Core Y processor in it, so we're talking ultra portable, ultra thin. Look, the SSD speeds are perfectly fine, but get the amount you need. This one actually has a 512. I would just get as much as you can afford in terms of RAM. This has 16 gigs RAM. Get as much as you can, because you can't upgrade. That's just how it is. Let's just check in on that DPC latency. Yeah, it still looks fine. And now let's go to the pièce de résistance, which is the render times. Now, previously, these sort of laptops, you could cut 4K like at half res, you could play it back. You would have no problem editing 4K like XPS 13, anything that was sans graphics, like any of those Ultrabooks that didn't have graphics, you could do it, you could edit it. But the render times were horrendous. And if you've got Intel HD, it's going to be like 40 minutes render, this project, 40 minutes. I'm not even joking. Now, if you look at the bottom, Dell XPS 13 2-in-1, all right, it's not like super fast like the, gaming laptops, XPS 15, MacBook Pros, and etc. But 14 minutes 41 software rendering on the side, on the right, and 13 minutes and 39 seconds hardware encoding in the middle. That is amazing. That ZenBook Duo I've got that has a 10th generation quad core Comet Lake and an MX250. So I'm talking discrete graphics, takes like 28 minutes to do this. And it's got discrete graphics, 28. So this is much faster. That's competitive. If I just looked through here, like I've knocked off a couple just to put it in. But if I just looked through this list here, and look what this is beating, all right? So 13, think of it. If you hardware encode 13 minutes 39. So, I have to go right down to get there. But now, I will say some of this is done on the old Adobe. So that's just how it is. With the updates, some of these laptops will be faster. But still, 13 minutes. We're talking XPS 15 2-in-1. We're talking the XPS 15 9560. MacBook Pro, the older one, 25 minutes that used to take. And I never used to touch the Mac back then. When it used to take 25 minutes, that's the quad-core Mac. So it's like 217 or whatever. I would not touch a Mac. Now they're faster. But that is beating that. It's beating the Surface Book that has graphics. So that has a quad-core and it also has a GTX 1050. Beats that. Now I'm sure some of these would be faster, but still, you get the idea. You can edit on this, no problems. You can actually render out. It's not going to kill you, like taking 40 minutes or even 30 minutes. It's really good. And if you have a look at that with an eGPU, 2 minutes and 37 seconds, that beats everything, all right? Everything. So I'm talking a desktop, every single laptop I've tested there. It must just be that the Thunderbolt 3 is built into the CPU and those Intel HD graphics really help with hardware encoding and it makes it super fast. So yeah, this thing is amazing. It's a little firecracker. It's a little pocket rocket. It's great for content creation. That being said, it's not made for this sort of stuff. It's not made for this heavy duty stuff, but you can get it done as a mobile solution. It's actually good. I would still prefer a 15-inch, of course. Better display, it's more power, and I've got more in reserve when I need it. But this can get the job done, and with the eGPU, it's just absolutely amazing. So stay tuned for my eGPU video on this and the full review. I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Tally ho.